everybody, I hope you're doing good today. This video will contain copyright material being used underneath Fair Use Act for educational purposes. It's Behind the Curve movie review, Flat Earth Reset style. So here's my review. It's a hit piece, okay? They make flat earthers look like, they not only make flat earthers look like they're out there on the fringe of society, they say flat earthers are out there on the fringe of society. You know, kind of like out there with mass murderers, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the boogeyman, you know, the guys that go into the schools and shoot up people, you know, shit like that. We're on the fringe of society. Not only are we on the fringe of society, we may sound intelligent, but we all suffer from the Dunning-Kruger effect, which basically means you're so stupid you don't realize you're stupid. And not only do we live on the fringe of society, and not only are we so stupid we don't realize we're so stupid, we don't have any family or friends. And that's why we all congregate together. So there you go. There's Flat Earth Reset's movie review of Behind the Curve. One thing that stuck out in that movie, I'm not going to play it so I can't get a strike. You know, I get a strike if I play it. But I'm going to quote what Patricia said, word for word. Well, I started in broadcasting, if you can call YouTube broadcasting, because my father owned a radio station. Let me say that again, because Patricia's told us many times she started her broadcasting and radio on different radio stations around the country. But no one's found any proof. You can't even find a picture anywhere of her at a radio station. She's got so many pictures on her Facebook, it's ridiculous. But not one of her at her job at a radio station as a broadcaster. It's all a lie. It's all a cover story. And this just proves it, because let me say it again, this is exactly what she said in the documentary. Well, I started in broadcasting, if you can call YouTube broadcasting, because my father owned a radio station. She couldn't put this lie out there in mainstream. So that's why she probably had to tell the truth, and her broadcasting career started back when Mark Sargent introduced her. And you could tell that because she was a horrible broadcaster, interviewer, and everything else. And she still is today. Let's start with yesterday's show where she opens up. And the reason she's doing this opening up and she's trying to show off her body and everything is because people called her out, called her pregnant and everything like that, because in the documentary you could see she has a distended stomach. She blames it on everything from clothes to just got done eating and got the pregnant look and all this other nonsense. So she dresses like this and does this little stunt just to try to prove to us that she's, a hot-looking 55-year-old woman. Okay? But in actuality, later on in the show, she stands up and says, oh, see, I don't have a distended stomach or anything like that. And she just shows off herself. But let's watch this nonsense.
Hello and welcome to Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes, episode number 230. Mark Sargent is here standing by, and I'm Patricia Steer. I'm going to play the jukebox. I'm going to play a song my grandfather, Howard Steer, wrote, and I think it was in the 50s or late 40s. It's totally awful, totally cheesy. And once I start it, I can't turn it off unless I pull the jukebox away from the wall and pull the plug out from behind it, which I'm not going to do. So do your own thing for 3 minutes or listen to the cheesy lyrics about a radio station called WKMI in Kalamazoo, Michigan that my grandfather owned, that my father took over, that he sold in the 80s.
Check out this cheesy display. Never mind the cheesy music. This cheesy display of trying to prove something. This is why people can't stand you, Patricia.
I think it plays Rush Limbaugh now, so I disavow all association with that radio station. It's the only song I can play on my jukebox without getting a copyright strike because it's a family song. So here we go.
Look at me, everybody. Look at me. Don't I look like a princess?
I hope I picked the right song. It's by the Melody Laners, which is the street the station was on. Hopefully you can hear it. Oh my God, this isn't even the right song.
You see how fake this is, ladies and gentlemen? This is why people can't stand her. It's all about Patricia. Look at me, I'm a little princess. So anyways, let's go get started. This is on Bob's Globebuster show on Sunday, where Patricia and Mark came on there and did damage control. It starts out with Jaron saying that Daniel and Caroline lied to him. But listen how they try to blame the editor for this. Watch.
The other thing is, when I found out how the movie ended, it has become clear to me that they have misrepresented the experiment I did. So at this point, I have two different reasons to think that Caroline and Daniel both were less than truthful with me, less than truthful with other members of the community, and they've created a documentary under false pretenses. So for me, I can't wait to see it because I haven't seen it, so I can't really say a whole lot about any other opinion other than, the thing is, I would
blame the editor more than those two. Those two seem more genuine than that editor dude. As far as my brief encounter with those people and seeing them on stage answer questions. So,
and the thing is,
the editor snipped it the way he wanted it to be.
The editor has pretty much final say in everything. Yeah. At the end of the day.
Yes. I think that if there's anyone that did sway more than others is the editor, because
it's total nonsense. The editor has no creative control in the process of the movie. That's all left up to the director, the producer, and the executive producer, who is Christine O'Malley. Those are the people that tell the editor what to do. The editor has no creative control of the movie. He just runs his editing program and adds in special effects. That's all he does. So to sit there and blame all these lies on the editor is bullshit. Daniel J. Clark and Caroline Clark are a couple propagandists. And Patricia hid this from the Flat Earth community. She hid the truth. So let's keep on going here. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Let's listen to this. Couple minutes. This clip's a couple minutes long. Let's listen.
Very early on here in this movie, they go right into the Dunning-Kruger effect. Have you heard of this?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's when you're too stupid to know.
I've heard of Freddy Krueger.
It basically means you're too stupid to.
All throughout this show, the Morgile acts as the guy that brings in the satire. He mentions Belu, and it's just all ridiculous, all to distract you. Morgile shouldn't even be involved in this. Let's keep listening.
Know how stupid you are.
Exactly. And they did that from the probably the first 20 minutes in, half hour in, they launched that, and then they started referring to that. And pretty soon, when they got Bob's footage and they meshed it in with the panel, you guys were at a table and taking questions from some people that were in front of you guys, and they were videotaping it.
Mm-hmm.
They started to funnel the talk into making it like, we're trying so hard to make the Earth flat, and we're trying so hard to want to be part of something. We have to feel connected and part of something. It was like stomach churning twists. Like I said, they edited it to make it fall into these confirmation bias and the Dunning-Kruger effect. It was very hard to watch at that point.
Yeah. At the same time,
sort of what we expect, though, isn't it? From anytime that we.
Oh yeah, this is what we expect. So why do we even go to the mainstream media? I'll tell you what. Anybody that agrees to do a documentary or interview with mainstream media is willingly taking place in a hit piece against the Flat Earth community. You are willingly taking place in a hit piece are taking part in a hit piece against the flat earth community. And anybody from now on that does it should be called out.
Speak to the mainstream or speak to ballers. They take what we say completely out of context and then run with these sort of straw man arguments. And it is it's ridiculous, but it is effective though, because it keeps flat earth in the realm.
And this is why Mark and Patricia keep telling us, hey, we got to keep doing these.
You know, just total obscurity for people who are sort of already stuck in the matrix. But that tactic, you know, it does work very well. That's why they use it time and time again.
Yeah, they did it about the Flat Earth Convention in the UK, and they did it about the Flat Earth Conference in the US. They do it anytime Flat Earth comes up in the media, even Obama saying we don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. Anytime mainstream media gets a hold of Flat Earth, they will belittle it.
And that's why they keep going back to them. It's all about destroying Flat Earth from within. You know, you could sit there and say you're waking up, this is going to wake up a few people out of 10,000, but those people that are going to be woken up are going to be led down the wrong path. Right back to the path of deception with these clowns. So, let's keep on going here because Mark created a meetup in Pasadena, and then he claimed that the documentary makers wanted them to go there because, you know, this is part of the documentary. So what happened is I think this was all set up and Mark knew about it. They had an astronomy meetup down the street the same night, and they had film crews at each place. And basically they used the astronomy meetup to humiliate the flat earthers in the documentary. So let's listen to this segment right here.
4 meetups that they covered before the conference.
Oh yeah.
So
remember the meetup they covered, and then they went. Meanwhile, down the street there was an astronomy meetup.
Yeah, and I knew about that, but
and there you go. Mark knew about it. He knew about the astronomy meetup that night. That's why he created the Flat Earth meetup, so the documentary people can film both of this. Mark was compliant in this hit piece. Mark was extremely helpful. Mark made this hit piece possible. There you go. So let's get moving here down to the next clip, because this guy on here, his name, the guy you're hearing, his name is Goodaval72. He provided a song, and they used part of the song in the documentary, and he was there. And he was initially against it, but after he did this Globebusters show, they got to him, and now he thinks that Mark and Patricia and Globebusters and everybody's the greatest thing since sliced cheese. So anyways, let's listen, because they purposely used the astronomy meetup to roast flat earthers, and he says it right here. Let's listen.
They roasted us. They roasted us at that astronomy little thing there. Just thought I'd put that in. They were like, there's something wrong with us, and we need to find better ways to, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I don't have a problem with any of that, because that's going to happen. That's acceptable.
Do you see the bullshit here? Jaron doesn't have any problem about them humiliating flat earthers in the media. So let's just keep doing it, folks. Do you think humiliating the truthers that were exposing, you know, Sandy Hook and all that, do you think putting them in the media actually did good? No, because it shut them down. And I'll guarantee you it's only a matter of time before they consider the Flat Earth movement fake news. And they shut it down too. Okay, so let's keep on going here to the next clip. Caroline and Daniel are shady people, and this is Jaron. I'll give it to Jaron. He goes off a little bit, but in the end he says, hey, if this wakes up somebody, it's worth it. No, these hit pieces aren't worth it. Waking up 1 or 2 people and sending them down the wrong path is not worth it. When millions are being told that we're on the fringe of society, that we're too dumb to know we're dumb. Meanwhile, Patricia's trying to tell you that they portrayed us as intelligent people, when that's anything but true. So let's keep on going here and listen to Jaron talk about Caroline and Daniel and how shady of people they are. And it's, hey, at least he spoke the truth here.
To me, it's like the facts are that you're not going to get a helmet cam of an astronaut going to space. It's never happened. It's not going to happen in the future.
Right.
So those things will eventually wear on people. The fact that they've told you you're going to go to the moon, but they'll never go back to the moon. Eventually, people will get to wake all up. So I don't have a problem with being, that whole stuff. But when it comes to, if I were Math right now, I'd be preparing a court case against this movie.
He absolutely will. Well, try anyway, but unfortunately, it will fail because fair use is really broad when it comes to documentaries.
Well, but if that's one thing. But I mean, if Math called me to be a witness, I would testify on Math's behalf. That it almost seems like they punished him for not agreeing to be in their movie.
Yeah.
If Miramax works with Tom Hanks and says, or they want him to be in their movie, and they say, hey, Tom, we want you to be in the movie, and he says, here's my demands, well, the film can say yes or no. What they can't do is say, sorry, we're not going to go to your demands, and then put him in the film as the villain, and then think that that's okay by saying it's fair use. It's not fair. It's conniving. It's disgusting. So in my opinion, they have misrepresented my experiment, number one, and number two, they obviously misrepresented the document that I signed that said, yes, I agree to be in this film, knowing that if I wouldn't have signed that now, they could have just gone and stolen my YouTube videos and put me in however they wanted. So to me, overall, very kind of shady two people. They both have the same last name. They told me they're not married. They have no connection to each other. That's weird.
Yep, there you go. Shady people. And there you have it. I mean, I don't know what to suspect about Matt. I mean, this could be all made up because Matt went crazy, because IPS used his name on that media interview, and then magically Matthew goes nuts. He goes crazy, and that's just when they filmed the documentary. People filmed all this stuff, so I don't know. Seems kind of strange. Could be a setup. If Math doesn't sue him, then it speaks volumes. Put it that way, because they can't just use his likeness when he refused to be part of the film. So, anyways, let's keep on going here, because Patricia claims, Patricia claims that we all knew that Caroline and Daniel were filmmakers that produce propaganda, because that's what they are. But Patricia is trying to tell us that they knew it going into this, and that we all knew it. And it's just one of her many lies, kind of like she used to do radio broadcasting. Let's listen to this nonsense here.
Do you guys know she was involved in another film years ago?
Yeah, we were aware. Actually, she was aware. She made a documentary about Sandy Hook, and obviously
patrolling
Sandy Hook, and obviously she believes hook, line, and sinker that was all real. Of course, so do 90 some odd % of the rest of the world, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you can't really fault her, as a filmmaker for making a film of that position. And if I remember right, Patricia, I asked you if she still believed that. And you said that she does, right?
Yes, they believe everything. They believe 9/11, just as was told in the media, that Sandy Hook, just as pretty much fill in the blank, just as the media says.
Yeah.
They
are not conspiracy people.
No.
Why do you think they would have made this movie any better than?
You hear, Patricia? We knew they weren't. She knew they were propagandists, filmmakers. They're acting like we all knew this, that we all knew they were propaganda filmmakers. Patricia, you're lying your ass off. If we knew these guys were propagandist filmmakers, then we would never allow this in the Flat Earth community. We would have spoke out about it a long time ago. So you're lying your ass off. Only you and Mark knew about it. That's why you agreed to do this propaganda piece that this movie is. So there you go. Let's end this with Bob. And the reason why Bob thinks this is great for the Flat Earth community. But listen to this nonsense.
That's telling me when I read this through all these different documentaries, it's not so much that they're saying, you know, they're looking at this as a hit piece on us, as much as they're almost criticizing Daniel for even, you know, giving us the platform, right? And of course, it's going to be taken from a baller point of view. And the reason, I think the whole reason they titled this Behind the Curve is that they wanted to draw in globe earthers to be able to look at their documentary. And regardless of how they painted us, I don't think they painted us in overly a negative way. Obviously, there were things that we wish would have been portrayed differently. But the bottom line is I think that it got our message out in so many ways, in that we're just saying, look, we're looking at this. We want other people to look at this. This is what's so all-consuming about it. This is why there are literally millions of us. And so, yeah, you can look at it one of two ways. You could say, oh, it was an absolute hit piece. And in some ways, you could be, yeah, you could say that's right. But in other ways, it also painted us in somewhat of a favorable light, in that we are not a bunch of crazy people, you know, walking around, you know, that are looking completely insane. I personally am very proud of what I brought forward to that documentary, and would do it again in a heartbeat, even though I wish I could elaborate.
We're not crazy or insane or anything like that, huh, Bob? But we live on the fringe of society, you know, out there with mass murderers, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, so on and so forth. We all don't have any more family left. They all deserted us, left us, all because we became flat earthers. We don't have any friends except for who we meet online. And that we're so stupid we don't know we're stupid. How is that painting us favorably, Bob? There you go, ladies and gentlemen. When the rest of the documentary comes out, I'll do another review. Have a good day.